The United States is located in the middle of the North American continent, bordered by Canada to the north and Mexico to the south. The United States stretches from the Atlantic Ocean on the east coast to the Pacific Ocean on the west coast, including the Hawaiian Islands in the Pacific Ocean, the state of Alaska at the northern tip of the American continent, and several other territories. The arrival of millions of immigrant workers and farmers from Europe. A national logging railroad network was completed, and large-scale mining and manufacturing industrialized the Northeast and Midwest. Middle-class dissatisfaction with corruption, inefficiency, and traditional politics fueled the progressive movement from the 1890s to the 1920s, which pushed for reform and allowed women's voting rights and the prohibition of alcohol, which was repealed in 1933. Although initially neutral in World War I, the United States declared war on Germany in 1917, and charged the Allies to victory a year later. After a decade of prosperity in the 1920s, the Wall Street crash of 1929 marked the beginning of the decade-long Great Depression. Democrat Franklin D. Roosevelt became president and implemented his New Deal program of relief, and reform, defining modern American liberalism. After Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, the United States entered World War II alongside the Allies and helped defeat Nazi Germany in Europe and defeat Japan in the Far East. After World War II, the United States and the Soviet Union emerged as competing superpowers and began the Cold War. These two countries are fighting each other indirectly in arms competition in the space race. United States foreign policy during the Cold War was centered on containing communism, and the country participated in the wars in Korea and Vietnam to achieve this goal. Liberalism won numerous victories in the days of the New Deal and again in the mid-1960s, especially in the success of the Civil Rights Movement, but conservatism made a comeback in the 1980s under Ronald Reagan. The Cold War ended after the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, leaving the United States as the sole superpower. Entering the 21st century, international conflict centered around the Middle East and increased sharply following the September 11 attacks and the war on terrorism that was declared thereafter. The United States experienced its worst economic recession since World War II in the late 2000s, which was followed by slowing economic growth during the 2010s.
Thank you for watching our channel. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell button.